My name's Jackie, and I play guitar and sing in 1990s. Okay, let's go grab one here and see what happens. This should be funny. Two Unlimited, No Limit. Amazing. Amazing. Really, really joyous song. No, 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 there's no limits. That's about 13 no's. Sounds quite negative to me. I've never seen a song with so many no's in it. It should be a no-wave classic.
Once more, you
And the winner is Celine Dion. My heart will go on and on and on and on and on and on.
Don't let the days go by.
Bush, Glycerine. This band are dreadful. Yeah, that's a really, really dreadful band. Nobody needs to ever hear that again. I probably spent a lot of my time in the 90s avoiding Bush. I love Nirvana. It's really, I think Nirvana sound like the Police. Can't stand losing, so lonely, so lonely. That's quite Nirvana. I might raise a smile or a glass. Pixies, Veloria. Pixies are remembered as I think maybe as a 90s band, a band from the 1990s, but I don't like any Pixies record from the 1990s. I really like Come On Pilgrim and Suffer Rosa, and those records I was crazy about. I remember buying Suffer Rosa on the day it came out. Like, we'd heard tracks on the radio and we were just like, I've got to get this record. Previous to Pixies bands you would get is like Husker Du, which was like great tunes, but every song identical in production. It was always just chords, 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 chords really fast. Pixies were the first ones to strip things down and have weird melodies and strange sounds coming in. And then by the time they got to this, they were just the same as every other band. It was just bland. Radiohead, Karma Police. They're really trying really hard to do something really interesting, and they do achieve it. But it doesn't move me on any level. And also, Tom York can sing like one word with 3 syllables in it and make it last about 8 verses. I don't like guys singing like that. I like nice staccato, sort of sharp singing. It was obvious that they were going to make a record that was going to be even weirder than the last, and it was obvious that they were going to use electronics because everybody else was using electronics, and it was pretty obvious that they were going to make a record that had backwards loops and strange glitches and stuff. Everybody was making those records. The only interesting thing about Radiohead was that they brought it into the mainstream. Yep. But, wow. What else have we got? Underworld, Born Slippy. I'd heard a record like that before a million times, and this is for students to dance to.
Why does it always rain on me?
Hold to it one second. Let's see. Travis, why does it always rain on me? 'Cause you deserve it. Travis's music is kind of more for like your mum. Yeah. It's like parents' music or something. It's like I'm sure that's just the kind of music they like. I'm sure they were all brought up on like Steely Dan and things like that, and that's where it's coming from, maybe, or something. The Eagles, things like that. And I kind of like a lot of that music. You know, some James Taylor songs are okay and things like that, but it doesn't move me.
I need some time in the sunshine. I've got to slow it right down.
Oasis, Rock and Roll Star. I would never make a record like that. That's it's just layers and layers and layers of chords, millions of chords on the guitar. And Oasis songs, it's like a blueprint. Every song is just 45,000 layers of the guitar playing exactly the same thing. I don't know how they think they sound like the Beatles. The Beatles would never record a song that sounded like any of their songs. All the Beatles songs were like choppy riffs that were staccato and weird melody lines and stuff. But these guys couldn't even possibly hope to sound like that. He thinks he's like Ray Davies or something like that. There's nothing worse than some guy sitting about constantly like surveying culture and trying to like hold a mirror up to it and tell you what's going on. And what the hell does he know? Really, I like Girls and Boys. When that came out, I thought, whoa, what a song. the song itself is vacuous and doesn't mean anything. Something about people partying on the continent or something. It's like, wow, I'm glad you told me about that. Spice Up Your Life. That's a dreadful Spice Girls song. Is that the Arriba kind of one? Yeah. Fuck. I loved the Spice Girls. I liked Posh and Ginger Spice. They were my favourites at the time. Yeah, I liked two. Yeah, something for everyone. And but both those people have turned into some of the most dreadful people that ever walked the earth. But I'm not going to be revisionist about it and say, hey, yeah, I always hated the Spice Girls. I loved them. It's as much part of Britpop as anything else. It's like they were just Blur, except other people were writing the songs for them. Jamie, what's the second Spice Girls song called? Is it Two Become One, or is that the slow one? Say You'll Be There. That's by far the best. Thank you. That's by far the best. Yeah, it's really. That's a great song and a great video. I loved that. Yeah, that was like better than Oasis. Atari Teenage Riot. A little bit like being stuck in an elevator with a circus. I remember Paul, who drums in Franz Ferdinand. He went to see them one night, and he came back, and I was like, "What was it like?" And he was pissing himself. And he says, "Yeah, the singer was on." The singer started talking. He was saying, he was talking about Kraftwerk, and he's going, Kraftwerk. Everybody likes Kraftwerk. They have a song called Radioactivity. That's not cool. That's cooler than you. Chemical Brothers, Block Rotten Beats. It's just people sat in their studio with a computer screen, and they've got millions of analog synthesizers and drum machines and really good gear, and they play it and sample it into the computer, and then they just sit with a mouse going, let's have 4 blocks of the red bit, and we'll have another 2 blocks of the blue bit, and there's that yellow bit, it's a hi-hat, and let's move that about, and just before the chorus we'll cut the bass drum and just have hi-hats, and then we'll just have a quick sort of drum roll, it'll kick into the chorus. And it's just like, it should have just been one button on your computer that just did all of that. To make Chemical Brothers record. Most of the music in the 1990s was dreadful. Yeah. Really, really, really bad. Nobody remembers that decade fondly. Yeah. I think that's why one of the reasons we liked our name. Because it's just kind of, there was no nostalgia for it. If you call your band 1970s or 1980s, it's very kitsch and very, everybody knows what that means straight away, the 1980s. Yeah. But 1990s doesn't mean anything to anybody really, except just what you did in that decade. So we wanted a name that was more like that just threw people off balance a little bit. I got cool status, brown shit.